Welcome to the PeopleSoft Decustomization Spotlight series. In this video, we'll be focusing on the delivered tools to modify PeopleSoft pages. PeopleSoft Page and Field Configurator and drop zones are great features to understand and leverage for a tailored experience for your users without customizing. PeopleSoft customers typically modify pages due to a couple of reasons. For many, there's a need to use organization or industry-specific terminology. Perhaps a field is necessary to be filled out for your business rules, but PeopleSoft doesn't require it. This can lead to inconsistent data in your tables. You can clean up pages that are just too busy with data fields that your organization has decided to not use by removing or disabling them. You can also default values into fields. For all of these use cases, Page and Field Configurator can be used. In new to Financials Image 35, HCM Image 33, and Campus Solutions Image 17, Page and Field Configurator can now handle data masking. Note that the masking is on the page itself only. In other words, the masking doesn't follow the field onto other pages or into query or reports. For that, you would need to consider the more comprehensive data privacy framework, which is not part of Page and Field Configurator and not featured in this video. Note that while some configurations would apply to all users, for example, organization-specific terminology, others can be tailored to specific roles. By thinking creatively about this, you can actually take a page that wouldn't have previously been given to a broad user base and now extend it by changing the terminology, hiding fields, and masking other fields. While your core functional departments might see everything on the page, your end users could see only a curated part of that page. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have a project activity page that might usually be managed by a project or grant management functional department. While the core users would be able to see everything, perhaps an end user, like a project manager, sees only a special view of the same page that they normally wouldn't have seen at all. You'll notice that the activity type was defaulted to build, the percent complete is grayed out, the field that was previously called activity owner is now labeled responsible party, and all those date fields that your organization didn't use are gone. The description is also now required. So let's take a look at how this is done. By going to the Page and Field Configuration tile, you can call up that specific component. Next, we select specific fields that we want to do something with. Using the columns on the right, we can modify the label, hide or disable the field, make a field required, or set a default value. Once the fields are set, we have to tell it who to apply this to. In this case, we say to apply this to all, but have an excluded user or role. In the lower section, we then call out the excluded roles and users. In this case, the departments that have super users who manage the project activity updates, or a specific VIP who needs to see everything. Let's take a look at another example. Here we have a department chart field page. Perhaps in your organization, you don't want people to see the department managers or their IDs, but you want to allow anyone to look up department codes. By using Page and Field Configurator data masking, we can leave the field on the screen, but just mask it. So let's take a look at how that is set up. In the same menu area as Page and Field Configurator, you will see an option for defining the mask profile. Here, we are creating a simple mask that is using the type complete. Note that there are additional masking types available, like date format or unmasked trailing characters. Once the masking profile is set up, Page and Field Configurator is used similar to the standard changes we saw last time, but in this case, we use a configuration type of masking. This allows us to then select fields and a mask profile. Lastly, Page and Field Configurator has additional advanced features. Criteria allows you to look for conditions in the page before executing the change. For example, if the user enters or selects a specific option in dropdown, hide certain fields, or streamline data entry. The Apply Additively feature allows for more complex sequencing of logic. Finally, if you push Page and Field Configurator to its limits and want to go farther with modifying the view of the page or processing custom logic, consider the use of event mapping. So far, we've looked at how to take away fields or alter the views of pages via Page and Field Configurator. What if we want to add data elements? For that, we can use drop zones. Drop zones are predefined areas on a page that allow you to add additional custom fields without modifying the underlying page. For example, you may need to capture additional data elements. Drop zones are enabled for fluid pages in PeopleTools 857 and for classic pages in 858. Once you upgrade PeopleTools, you can take advantage of the application image updates that provide the drop zones. Specific pages are delivered with drop zones starting in image 30 for HCM and image 31 for financials. PeopleBooks has a listing of all those pages. So let's take a look at an example. Here you can see the expense report component. What if we wanted to add fields that are important for us to capture as part of this expense report? Let's see if we can add fields here at the top of the page. Sure enough, this component has multiple areas that we can use to drop a new subpage into. Subpage can be one that is already delivered, or it can be one that you create. We simply call out that subpage in the Configure Drop Zones component, which is part of the portal setup in PeopleTools. That subpage will now show up in the expense report component. We've been able to modify the page and add data elements to it without customization. In summary, these new tools open up a world of possibility for your organization. Whether it's opening up a page for a broad audience while hiding sensitive or unnecessary fields, changing field labels to match your organization's specific terminology, or requiring fields to be entered to ensure data conformity, Page and Field Configurator is the tool for you. If you want to add additional elements to your pages without customizing the page, then consider drop zones. To watch videos highlighting specific decustomization features, continue to the next video in this playlist. Also, check out our 1-hour webinar where we discuss customization use cases and their delivered counterparts, or sign up for live virtual training so you can learn how to implement these features at your organization. You can find the links in the description of this video. And make sure to subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos.